Hi guys, welcome to another lesson of Algebra 2. This is Mrs. Delise and this topic is Quadratics 3.3 Solving Equations by Factoring. We have to follow a strict rule on how to solve equations by factoring. First step is we set the quadratic equation equal to 0, and this is a very important step in factoring. Next, we factor the quadratic equation if possible, and then we use the zero product property to set each factor equal to 0. For example, we have x squared minus x minus 5 equal to 1, and we are supposed to write our answer in a solution set. Remember, before you continue watching this video, it is very important that you've already watched Quadratics 3.2 video, or this lesson is going to be super hard for you. Okay? So if you have not watched that video, you can stop right here and look for Quadratics 3.2 video first. All right, I hope you've already watched Quadratics 3.2. And again, the first step here is to set our equation equal to 0. If you noticed here, our equation is not set equal to 0. Actually, our equation is set equal to 1, which does not follow our first step. So our goal is to move the positive 1 into the left side so we can set this equal to 0. Should I subtract 1 on both sides then? If I subtract 1 on both sides, let's subtract 1 on both sides. I will get negative 5 minus 1. And that is the reason why, if you notice, you have x squared minus x minus 6 equal to 0. And the negative 6 came from a combination of negative 5 and negative 1. Okay? And from there, you factor. And in quadratics 3.2, I already covered how to factor. And so it shouldn't be that hard for you. But I will go over how to factor also in some examples after. And then I'll have x minus 3 equal to 0. And I have an x plus 2 equal to 0. So my final answer would be x equals positive 3 and x equals negative 2. And I was instructed earlier to write my answer in a solution set. And that's very easy. In writing it in a solution set, you would then have x such that x is equal to negative 2, comma, positive 3. And then again, make sure to write the smaller number, comma, the bigger number. Okay? Let's have another example. Solve x squared minus 1 equals 15 and write your answer in a solution set. So here it didn't follow the first step with the first step says that make sure that the equation is equal to 0. And in this case, our our equation is not equal to 0. So our goal first is to take away the 15. So we're going to subtract 15 from both sides of the equation. When you subtract 15 on both sides of the equation, you'll get x squared minus 16. And if you've already watched the video for 3.2, you'd know that this one is called the difference of squares, where we do not have a b value. The b value is equal to 0. We have x squared minus 16, and so it will turn into x plus 4 and an x minus 4. And you will then set each of the factor into 0. That's the reason why our final answer is a negative 4 and a positive 4. Okay? Now let's practice. So in this part, I'm going to show you how to factor just in case you need a little review on that. Let's see here. We have x squared plus 11x plus 30 equal to 0. And because this equation is already equal to 0, I do not have to do those extra step on subtracting a number on both sides, right? The first step in factoring is to make sure that there is no greatest common factor. And in this case, it does not look like there is a common factor that we can simplify this equation into. So I'll proceed into multiplying my a value and c value. My a value is equal to 1. So 1 times 30 is equal to 30. So I'm looking for a number that when I multiply, I will get 30. And when I add, I will get 11. I'll repeat that. I'm looking for a number that when I multiply, I'll get 30. When I add, I'll get 11. So 30 would be 10 and 3. I'll also have 15 and 2. None of them results to 11 yet. So we have 6 and 5. Does that result to 11? Yes, it does. So 6 and 5 would be our perfect pair. So I'll go into x squared plus 5x plus 6x plus 30 equal to 0. And remember what I did on the previous video? I am doing factoring by grouping. So I'm going to group them first so I don't get confused. Okay, what's common between x squared and 5x? What is common between x squared and 5x? I think x is common, yeah? So we'll have x plus 5. Let's try to check this. Is x times x x squared? Correct. Is x times 5 5x? Correct. Now let's move on to the next part. What's common between 6 and 30? 6, right? Of course, 6. So I'll do it as plus 6, x plus 5. And let's check. 6 times x is 6x. Very good. 6 times 5 is 30. Very good. And now we have the common. So our answer is x plus 6. The ones that are outside, these two. And then I'll just write 1 of the x plus 5. And, of course, equal to 0. So you'll have x plus 6 equal to 0. You'll get a negative 6. X plus 5 equal to 0. You'll get a negative 5. My answers, therefore, are negative 6, comma, negative 5. Not that bad, right? Okay, moving on. We have x squared minus 6x minus 16. What's common between all of these numbers? I don't think there's anything common. So let's move on to a times c. So that is negative 16. What will give us negative 16 when multiplied? Will give us negative 6 when added. So negative 16 would be 4 and 4. 4 and negative 4, 8 and negative 2, negative 8 and 2. Which one would give us the perfect combination that will give us negative 16 and at the same time will give us negative 6? I think this one, correct? The negative 8 and the positive 2. So I'm going to erase that here, okay? Because I don't have a space, but I already know the combination. So I would have x squared minus 8x plus 2x minus 16 equal to 0. And then I'm going to combine factor by grouping. Okay, so what's common between x squared and negative 8? I have x minus 8. Let's check. X times x is x squared. Very good. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. Very good. Moving on to the next part. Let's change the color into blue. Plus 2 x minus 8. Let's see this. That's a 2x. That's a 2x. That is negative 16. So if you notice, the things that are inside the parentheses are always going to be equal to each other, right? So that makes it easier for you to anticipate what's the next factor look like. Okay, so let's combine this. We have x plus 2 x minus 8 equal to 0. And remember, you only write the common ones. Okay, so we have x equals -2, x equals +8. So my answers are -2, comma, +8. Okay, moving on. First step when you try to solve quadratic equations is that to make it equal to 0. Is this already equal to 0? It doesn't look like it's equal to 0, so let's make that equal to 0. We have x squared minus, oh, I think I made too much shortcut. We have 7x, so we're gonna subtract 7x on both sides of the equation. We're gonna end up with x squared minus 7x, correct? It doesn't look like we have to do a factoring where you're gonna multiply a times c because we do not have a c value. So I think we can just factor it right away. You know how I factor this one right here? I factored it into x times x minus 8. I think we can do it the same into this one. So what is common between x squared and -7x? I think x is common. What do you guys think? So we're gonna have to divide this by x, divide this by x. So I'll end up with x minus 7. What do you guys think? Let's try. X times x, very good. That is x squared. X times -7, very good. That's a -7. So I will just make them equal to 0. I will have First, let me show you this one. A lot of people gets confused about this part. That means x is equal to 0, isn't it? So we have x is equal to 0 as one of the answer, and the other one is x is equal to +7. And I hope that was not confusing. Okay, should we have more examples? Let's try more examples. X squared minus 144. This looks like difference of squares. And if you watch already 3.2, you would know, oh, they are all difference of squares, all of them. Okay, because I don't have a C value. Sorry, I don't have a B value, and it looks like that the C value are perfect squares. What do you mean by perfect squares again? Like 144 is a perfect square because 12 times 12 is 144. 9 is a perfect square because 3 times 3 is 9. 25 is a perfect square because square root of 25 is 5, or 5 times 5 is 25. Okay? So because this one is a difference of squares, we follow the formula a minus b, a plus b, where our a is, so we have x squared. Oh, I think this is too big. So for x squared, we have x times x. For 144, what's 144? 12 times 12. So following this formula, this would be our a, this would be our b value. So our answer is x plus 12, x minus 12 equal to 0. Not that bad, yeah? So we have x is equal to 1 positive 12 and 1 negative 12. Not that bad. Okay, moving on. Let's have 9x squared minus 25. They're both perfect squares too, yeah? The 9 and the 25. So let's just do it as, again, we're gonna follow the formula a minus b, a plus b. What's 9x squared? That is 3x times 3x. What about 25? That is 5 times 5. Yeah, so we have 3x minus 5, 3x plus 5 equal to 0. And do not forget that you make them equal to 0. So you have 3x minus 5 equal to 0, 3x equal to 5, divide by 3, x is equal to 5 over 3. And if this is x is equal to 5 over 3, I think that is x is equal to negative 5 over 3. So I don't really have to solve that again. So negative 5 over 3 and positive 5 over 3. Okay, so I don't have to like show my solution because I know that this became that. So I know this would become negative 5 over 3. Okay, now we have a problem. 50 is not a perfect square. 2 is not a perfect square. But they have something in common though, right? So what is the greatest common factor of 50 and negative 2? They can be both divided by negative 2. Or, I mean, sorry, they could be divided by positive 2. Let's try that. We have 50 minus 2x squared equals 0. Remember, very important, make it equal to 0. Let's divide it by 2. Divide that by 2. So we have that's 25 minus x squared equals 0. Oh, now it's a perfect square, isn't it? Because now we have the 25. So we can follow a minus b again, a plus b again, where our x, I don't have a space, let's go down, where my x squared, oh sorry, let's go 25. 25 is equal to 5 times 5, and x squared is equal to x times x. So technically, this is just like a backwards kind because you're going to end up with 5 minus x and 5 plus x equals 0, right? But that doesn't matter because you could also do it as an x plus 5 and an x minus 5 and you're going to get the same answer. So if we're going to do negative 5 minus x equals 0 and 5 plus x equals 0, I think we're still going to get the same answer. So our x is equal to negative 5, and then the other one is x is equal to positive 5. So our answer here is negative 5 and a positive 5. If I am too fast, just make sure that, you can, because you're going to be watching this on YouTube and you could always change the settings to watch this video slower if you wanted to. Okay, I hope that how many problems that we do? One, two, three, four, five, six. I hope this 6 problems, give you an idea on how to do it on your own. So for your homework, I'd like you to do page 69, numbers. Oh, letters actually. Letters G H I J to L. Okay, I'm gonna give you, hints on how to do this. On this one, make sure you subtract the 36 first. And do not forget that they have something in common. So you're gonna find the greatest common factor after. Here, you're gonna move the 4x and the 45 all the way to where the x squared is. So this becomes negative 4x, this becomes negative 45. In here, a little bit challenging because they're in factored form. So the first step here is to FOIL x plus 2 and then x minus 5 first. You know what FOIL is, right? This is Quadratics 3.1, where I taught you how to make FOIL or how to do rainbow or how to do it using the box method. So that's what you're gonna do first, and then you're gonna move the 18 after. Here, it looks like for J, we don't have a problem. For K, there's no problem to it. You just factor right away. For L, you have a problem because you have to move this one. Okay? So you FOIL, for I, you FOIL and then move the 18. Move this one, move this. and then move that. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully you will you'll be able to do it on your own. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.